Welcome back to CryptosRus. My name is Aaron and I'm your resident DeFi guy here, and today I want to talk about, is DeFi dead? Well, I think obviously this is clickbait, guys, and I want to get into the actual facts here. Now, DeFi has been in a bear market for the last year at least, and I'm going to show you how that looks on the charts, but we're going to compare this to a couple of things. And first and foremost, I'd like to get into the federal funds rate. So let's jump into my screen here. The federal funds rate has been up and down roller coaster for the last 2-3 years now. The DeFi chart looks almost exactly the opposite of this, guys. Between February and April of 2020, I wonder what happened there, guys. We did see the initial effects of the pandemic and the crash in the stock market and all of the shutdowns around the world, right? And so the Fed lowered interest rates from a 1.58% all the way down to a 0.05%, and this had been the case for almost 2 years total. So in February of 22, they started increasing rates, and now we're at one of the highest rates we've seen in a very long time at 5.08. So let's go into the charts here. This is the total DeFi chart. If you want to look this up, you can on tradingview.com. You just type in total DeFi in the search bar and this comes up. Back in April of 2020, there was only about $2 billion worth of TVL, or total value, locked in DeFi. Now, because the Fed funds rate was down to near zero, I do think people were looking for places to find yield, and they could find it in this new thing called DeFi. And DeFi summer came out of this in 2020. We saw a lot of ICOs of new tokens. We saw a lot of DeFi action for the first time. This is when Uniswap and other yield farming opportunities first came to be, and this is when TVL started to skyrocket. Now, of course, this does coincide with the Bitcoin halving, so it could be a theory, guys, but I do think that a lot of institutional money was coming on-chain because they couldn't find yield elsewhere. So once we saw the top at almost $200 billion worth of DeFi TVL, we have seen capitulation since. I do like to see that we've settled around $40 billion in TVL and in DeFi, guys. And I do think we could see very, very much higher numbers in the coming bull market. As we see this yield curve start to flatten over here on the federal funds rate, I do expect to see TVL and DeFi start to head up in the opposite direction, especially as we head towards the next Bitcoin halving in 2024. One of my favorite YouTubers in this space that I follow very closely has just declared that the end of the DeFi bear market is here. And Taiki Maeda, got a shout out to him. He is one of the OGs in this space, and he does relate it back to the federal funds rate. Now, the Fed did raise the federal funds rate another 25 basis points this week, but I do think the curve is flattening, and I think as we head into next year, as we have the next Bitcoin halving, and as TVL continues to rise in the liquid staking derivatives on Ethereum and other chains, we will see more TVL come into DeFi, especially if the Fed gets more dovish, if inflation continues to lower. Now, some of the opportunities in the DeFi space that I do think you should be looking into is the liquid staking derivatives, lending, DEXs, of course. The top three here are always going to be big TVL spaces. But I want to look at number 9 through 12 here. I think yield aggregators, real-world assets, synthetics, and launchpads are the places to be looking for some great opportunities in DeFi right now. Tangible is a real-world asset protocol that is buying real estate in the UK and tokenizing this real estate, guys. So their TVL grows with their purchases of actual real estate in the real world, and they're putting that equity into their stablecoin USDR. You can use USDR in yield opportunities on different chains, guys. I personally have made upwards of 100% APR for a short period of time on this USDR token, pairing it with other stable tokens in different yield pools. So I'd like to show you how to find the best APRs on this token. So if you go to DeFiLlama.com, I would hit yields and then hit pools and then type in USDR as your token here. And you get all these different pools that come up from different chains. The great thing about USDR is it's already limited to L2 chains for the most part. And if you look through some of the APYs here, I highly recommend checking out whatever the base APY is. So hit this base APY. Now Tangible is offering currently 17.5%. Now that's a base APY of over 7% plus 10% rewards in the Tangible token. Now Tangible has been around since late 2022, but if you look at the chart here, guys, it has been almost up only since the beginning of 2023 for Tangible. At the end of the day, guys, I do think the bear market could be over soon for the DeFi space, so do hang on. I'm personally interested in yielding as much as possible on top of my Ethereum in both Ethereum and in stablecoins, and USDR is one of those tokens that I do like to use for yield farming. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about DeFi and where you think it's headed. What tokens are you looking at? What projects are you looking at? What yields are you finding in the DeFi space? Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content just like this, and we'll see you next week. God bless.